Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video on my channel here. Now in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showing you a defense that I've kind of been labbing a little bit today, and it's going to be this overload 3 show 2 out of the dime normal formation. This is not really a common formation in the game, but it actually has some decent plays in it. You got this overload 3 show 2. There's a dime blitz 2, which is similar to the I believe it's the nickel blitz, I believe, out of nickel normal, nickel blitz 2. And then you also have a couple other plays as well. This fox fire zone press seems pretty good. Cat blitz looks pretty good. So today we're going to be going over this play here, overload 3 show 2, and I'm going to be showing you guys the pre-play adjustments you're going to do, and we're going to run it against some random trips plays, and we're going to see how it basically does. So guys, before we get in the video, if you don't want to follow me on Twitter, my link is down below. I'll be posting when I post new videos there. And also guys, if you want to check out my 2 most recent videos, they're going to be in the top right of the screen right now. Guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so what we're going to do here in this play, overload 3 show 2, is we're going to be making some subs. So the first thing we're going to do here is we are going to be subbing in our best line. We're going to be subbing in a safety at linebacker. The reason why is because we're going to be manning them up on some receivers. So we're going to like to have a guy that, you know, has some decent man coverage and also some decent speed is there in there as well. So that's why I have Jordan Lucas, because it's better having a safety on a receiver rather than a linebacker. Then what we're also going to do here is we are going to sub in our best linebacker, the guy that we just subbed out, in this right rush position, because he is actually going to be on a 3 reception hook, which is one of the best zones in the game. And basically we're going to be using this player right here, Buster Screen. We're going to be using this corner because he's on a blitz, and also he has a really good change of direction. So basically guys, now let's just actually, you know, hold on, one more thing here. So what I also like to do is ball in air defense, I like to put it on play ball, and then my flats I like to have it for my zone drops at 5 yards, and then my curl flats I like to have them at 20 yards. So guys, let's go ahead, let's head into the play. All right guys, so here we go. We're going to be running this against our first random trips play. Now what we're going to do here, the first setup is going to be to base align, then we're going to which is going to be triangle or Y, and then right on the left stick. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to shade over the top, which is triangle and up on the right stick. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this linebacker here, the safety that we subbed in the linebacker, and we are going to man him up on a random receiver. We'll just do the tight end because of this video. So what we're going to do, we're going to double tap the right D-pad, press his icon, flick the right stick up, and then press the X button, and that's going to man him up on the tight end. You could also man him up on one of these receivers on the left side. Really does not matter. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to pinch our defensive line, which is left on the D-pad, down on the left stick. So basically on the field right here, you're going to have 2 curl flats here. One of them is going to be the free safety. The other is going to be a cornerback on the right side. Then you're also going to have a 3 reception hook, which is a really good zone that our linebacker is currently on, that we did sub in at this right rush position, because it's better to have a linebacker at that spot as opposed to a defensive lineman, because linebackers have better zone coverage. So basically we're just going to be using Buster Screen right here. He's already on the blitz, so we don't have to do that. We're going to get really good agility and change of direction. So we're just going to run this play, and it is not a run play. We're just going to see, we're going to cover this, and Khalil Mack eventually does get to the quarterback and sack him. So basically what we're going to do is now we're going to hop into the instant replay, and we'll take a look at how this defense plays. So we're going to start off here with this 3 reception hook, because some of you might still be wondering, why is this a really good zone? Take a look at what Roquan Smith does here. He basically is going to go and take away this kind of crossing route at the beginning, and then what he's going to do is he's going to move to the middle and then take away any like in routes or slant routes or drag routes, that kind of thing. And that's what a 3 reception hook does. It's going to take away any of those crossing routes, you know, obviously like drags and crossers and slants. It's going to take that all away, which is going to be really huge here, because those are some of the most common routes in the game. Now we're also going to cover as well this safety that we subbed in the linebacker, see how he does in man coverage. As you can see, I mean, he does a solid job. I mean, he does kind of stutter here, which I don't get why he does, rather than just staying with him. But essentially right here, he does a pretty solid job for a safety. Obviously, you could go and use this safety and then then put the cornerback on a receiver. You could do that, but in my opinion, I like to have a safety at linebacker, man him up on somebody, and then we could just go and use this cornerback who has a better change of direction. We're also going to see here that, you know, I don't do a great job of baiting, but you're going to see that this out route is not really open to start right here, you know, because it's kind of open because the curl flat drops back so deep. But eventually, I mean, that's not really going to be one of your reads if you're an opponent and you're running this play. But basically, this receiver right here, this receiver, he starts basically getting locked up by this corner right here who's on the safety who's on a curl flat. And then you see that on the streak here, the cornerback Jalen Johnson stays with Julio Jones step for step, and it ends up stopping him. So that's basically going to be the first play here out of trips. We'll just run a couple more setups here. I'll show you guys. And guys, on that note, let's get into the second setup. All right, guys, so here's the second setup. So what we're going to do, we're going to start it off the same as last time. We're going to base the line, but then this time we're going to go and we're going to shade underneath and over the top. Now, underneath is going to be triangle down the right stick, and then over the top, obviously, you know, is triangle up on the right stick. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to take those seam flats, it's going to turn them into cloud flats, which do play pretty well. I have my zone drops on 5 yards, so they will play on the 40-yard line. They'll stop any quick out routes and whatnot, and they'll do a pretty solid job right here. And then what we're going to do as well is we're going to take the safety, we're going to man him up on a random receiver. I'll switch it up this time. I'm going to man him up on this O player right here. This, I think he's like a slot receiver, not entirely sure. And then we're obviously going to pinch our defensive line, which is left on the D-pad down the left stick. So pretty much this is going to be the play here. Just going to play as well as I can with my user. You see that we're kind of baiting stuff. Now, unfortunately, I did get tripped right there, so that was very unfortunate. But you saw that I started with the out route, and then I started to move on the slants, but I ended up getting tripped. And unfortunately, that would have probably been a wide open ball. But we're going to see right here, first of all, we have this out route. You're going to see that Lucas comes over. Actually, it's a flat route. You're going to see that Lucas ends up coming over, and he guards it pretty well right here. He's not really going to get much yards, if any. Then we also have the two slant routes right here coming from the right side. As you can see, I was trying to cover them, and unfortunately, I did end up getting tripped up by two of my own players. But the 3-reception hook is actually not going to do a terrible job right here. We're actually, oh no, did he get... Yep, he got stuck up. So that can happen sometimes, unfortunately. That you see that the tight end here kind of picked him up, and unfortunately wasn't able to go out in his zone. That can definitely happen sometimes, but you see that he covers it pretty well over the middle here, and eventually pressure does get to him. And then you also got the cloud flat as well. That does stop the running back going out on the table routes. So I mean, it's not too bad right here. Cloud flats play better than hard flats. That's just my opinion. So now, guys, let's move on into the third setup. All right, guys, so here is going to be the third setup. So we're going to base the line. We're going to shade over the top. And then what we're going to do is, instead of manning up this safety right here on a player, we're actually going to go and we are going to throw him on a hard flat, which is going to be X and then right on the right stick. And then we're just going to shade over the top again, which is triangle up on the right stick. What this is going to do here, it's called Mabling, where you have, and then we're also going to pinch the defensive line as well, which is left and D-pad down the left stick. So basically, this is called Mabling right here. We mabled the left side. What that is essentially we went and we took one of our linebackers or one of our safeties and we threw them on a cloud flat, and now we have both a cloud flat and a curl flat playing in this zone. Now, what I would actually recommend doing is actually playing, if you're versing a formation like bunch or something like that, like bunch or trips tight end or tray Y flex, what I recommend here is Mabling to the opposite side of the bunch. So basically, you see that the bunch is on the right side. So what we're going to do, or most of the receivers are on the right side, is we're going to move them over a little bit, and then we're going to put them in a hard flat and shade over the top. And now what that's going to do is that's going to stop any crossing routes, any drag routes, slants, that kind of thing. And it's going to do a pretty solid job. So once again, here we're just going to use our buster screen here. We're going to cover as basically as good as we can. And you're going to see that we get some pretty good block sheds, and we end up getting the stacks. So let's quickly go and watch the instant replay, see how this coverage did right here. We're going to take a look. First of all, we're going to look at this running back. You're going to see that he's going to go out in kind of a swing route, and the cloud flat's going to be right there to stop it, and it actually does a pretty solid job. Moving on here, we're also going to look at kind of this flat route right here. Now, I don't know why. I thought my cloud flat was supposed to come down. I guess it really didn't, but you see that, you know, it did a pretty solid job. Well, actually, no, never mind. We had a curl flat right there. I mean, it was pretty open right there, that flat route, but then again, that's going to happen if you play flats on one side. So, you know, that's going to happen. What are you going to do? And then the next thing we're going to cover here, we're going to cover this receiver, Russell Gage. As you can see, goes on kind of a corner route, and he gets covered pretty well by both the outside third and the curl flat. And then you also have Julio Jones right here. He's coming on like a hitch, I guess, and we're right there to cover it. So basically, guys, that's going to be I believe the third setup, excuse me. Now, guys, we're going to move into the last setup. All right, guys, so the last setup here is pretty similar to the third setup. We're just going to base the line, then we're going to shade underneath and over the top. Then we are going to throw this guy here into a curl flat, which is going to be X, and then right on the left stick. You can also go and just double tap the right D-pad, press square, and then flick the left stick to the right. Then we're just going to make sure he's on the right side, and we're going to pinch our defensive line. So basically what we're going to have here is on this play, we're going to have better coverage in the flats. So against like flat routes and that kind of thing, table routes, we're going to have better coverage. However, we are going to leave the area between the outside third and the safety. We're going to leave that area kind of open so they can definitely hit you with corner routes in this position. Once again, defenses are not perfect. There's always some soft spot in any defense. So we're just going to watch this here. You're going to see that we cover pretty much everything, and we actually get some great block sheds right there, and we force a sack. So quickly, let's just take a look at the instant replay. We'll see how this coverage did, and this is actually one of the better plays. So we're going to first look at the running back. You're going to see it kind of goes out. It's like an option route, I guess, or a hitch. You see that even if he were to catch this ball and try to turn upfield, he really wouldn't have much real estate, because we had not only a cloud flat there, but we also had our user right there as well. Next, we're going to take a look at the tight end. You're going to see that he kind of goes on like a corner route, and he gets covered pretty decent. I'm not going to lie, you know, you do have the curl flat on this right side, and then you also have this outside third who can come down and make a play. And then we're also going to be watching as well the second, or I think that's slot receiver right here. We're going to look at him. You see that he's kind of on like a crossing route. Roquan Smith is right there, so it's going to be a really tough ball to throw. It's somewhat open, but you see that also if he were to throw it right here, the outside third would be playing that as well as the curl flat, so that's not really an easy throw for anybody to make. Then we also are going to have this triangle route right here. You're going to see that he comes on a bit of a drag, and he really, I mean, he didn't have much real estate. Like, yeah, he could turn a field like right here, but Roquan Smith would come down and stop that immediately. And then also the square route, I believe, was the same thing as well, coming on like a drag or whatever. You're going to see that we cover it pretty well with our user. So really, you know, not a lot of stuff is like wide open, so it's not too bad of a defense. So guys, let me know what you thought of this defense, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or feedback, please leave it down in the comments. And guys, can we smash 5 likes? I would really love that. Take care. Most importantly, stay classy.